Hi everyone, Happy New Year's Eve. This is Scott. I'm doing a video about fingering on Rachmaninoff's Prelude in G minor. And this is a response to a question asked by Military and Emergency Services Church, I believe is the name of his YouTube channel. Great guy. And he just asked if I could show my fingering for the Un poco minomoso section of this gorgeous piece by Rachmaninoff. Now this is a piece that I actually, interestingly enough, was one of the first pieces that, advanced pieces that my piano teacher gave me, I guess because I had a large hand at 14. It was way too hard of a piece for me to be working on at 14, but it definitely leveled me up, so to speak. So anyway, so it's a great piece to work on for the advanced, intermediate, advanced, person, especially if you have a large hand, because I think it's just the way these spans are, and all these big chords, and you sort of have to have a little bit of athleticism here. But anyway, the Un poco minomoso section is actually a standalone piece, actually, as the Military and Emergency Services Church was saying. You could do this as a standalone, just a lovely standalone piece, and I have just played this as something, in background music for a party, of just do this, rather than the stormy big chord section, which people can't talk over that. But anyway, I tend to getting a little sidetracked here, so let's focus on the fingering. So with the fingering, I basically just made sure that I marked the unusual, where I do something different. I marked it in pencil here. And so you can screenshot this this screen right here if you can see the markings. I'm also I'll show you photos of each page at the end, just in case you need to, pick up the screenshot of each page. But anyway, some of these places, it's like here, there's no fingering written in, but there's a very similar passage here where she writes fingering in, so I'm not sure. And the she that I'm referring to is Ruth Laredo. I have the Peters edition, and this is, I'm not too familiar with Ruth Laredo, but I know that she played all the Rachmaninoff works, recorded them all. So, she ostensibly has some knowledge of this, and I think a lot of her suggestions are good. I just think that she has a different hand and a different technique than I do. And all pianists, the technique is a very individual thing. If nothing else that you learn from this channel, that's something that I hope I get across to people, is that there's not just one cut and dry way to play. So I try to give people ideas of how they can play things, and then they decide if it works for them or not. But and some of these fingerings, it may not work for you, especially if you have a small hand. Now I'm going to just focus in on this page here, because this is a somewhat problematic section, and it had me puzzled, especially as a teenager, looking at the left hand here. And just some of these harmonies and the patterns are quite unlike anything that you see in, Chopin, for instance, or some other, they're similar, but there's some things that are just a little different, and a little exotic Rachmaninoff flavor thrown in there, and it presents unique fingering challenges. So when I come up here, and I've got this pattern of notes here, she wants you to put a finger 5 here, which I find is very awkward for my large hands and fat fingers, which don't really fit between the keys very well. I mean, this is just, yes, you can jump and you can try to do this. For me, it's not really the way to play it in a flowing style. So what I do is I have 3 coming over here. No problem. It doesn't feel weird at all for me. If I wanted to connect it without pedal, I could. I'm always using pedals, so I'm not even worried about connecting that. I'm just worried about the sound that I'm getting on each note and making sure it's what I want. Now here I do something a little unusual. 1, 2, 3, and then I come back to 1. So my 1 is sort of an anchor around these notes. And then I jump back down here. I often use 4 here on the way down. It's just a little more natural. Like I'm looking for something that really flows and allows me to play this in a flowing style, right? Now, I'm holding the camera at the same time, so it's a little hard to do this holding a camera. Now, the next one right after that too, it's similar but a little different. Again, she wants you to put 5 here. I say no, I'm not gonna get 5 there. I'm gonna swap again, holding a camera. I'm looking at at the camera, trying to play the keys on the camera. It's pretty funny. This is very weird. I'm going to show you a clip of me playing this from the left angle, so you can see me playing it, and that this does work. then this one, I'm going 3, 2, 1, and then I cross over here and I got 3, 2 at the top. And again, I'm keeping my 1 here right around surrounding this note. That's sort of my anchor point, my pivot point, if you will. And it's just a very natural thing for me to do this, rather than to try to do, I don't know exactly what the notes are here, but this is awkward for me. The prime reason being is because of this. My fingers just don't do this too well. So if you're one of those people with fat fingers, you might want to give this fingering a look. All right, this is a tough part, and it needs to be played really flowing, and there's a crescendo happening. And to get these notes, some sound on these notes, it's going to take some practice and some rotation. I use 4/3 here, and then I like coming down. Sometimes I like to use 4, but often I use 5. It's no big deal either way. The 4 is only for a big hand. To connect 2 to 4 and then 5, I can do it. It's not always comfortable, so I've got the 5 in parentheses. All right. And a lot of times where you've got these inner melody notes, I'm just using thumb, thumb, thumb on those. A lot of times it's just like thumb after thumb after thumb. That's just what's free and available. So there's my fingerings for this piece and a little of the notes about technique. Take it or leave it. But again, this is a response to Military and Emergency Services Church. And you should take a look over at his channel. He's got a lot of interesting videos about the Schubert impromptus. He's also got several rather brilliant compositions that he just comes up with. And here are screenshots of the first page and second page. Happy New Year.